There's a light in my attic that turns on every night. I don't have an attic. I first noticed it about 3 weeks ago. I was walking my dog around the block just after sunset. When I glanced back at my house, there in what should have been empty space between my roof and the night sky was a soft yellow glow. My single-story ranch home doesn't have an attic, never has. The ceiling in my bedroom is vaulted, following the roof line with exposed beams. There's no crawl space, no storage area, nothing but insulation between my ceiling and the shingles. I stood frozen on the sidewalk, staring up at this impossibility, while my dog, Rusty, tugged impatiently at his leash. I blinked hard, convinced I was seeing things. The light remained when I returned home. I rushed inside and checked every room, looking for any sign that light might be filtering through somewhere. Unusual. Nothing. I even dragged a ladder from the garage and examined the ceiling in my hallway with a flashlight. The drywall was intact. No access panel, no trapdoor. The next night I waited anxiously in my front yard just after 8:30. Like clockwork, the light appeared again. From outside it looked like a perfectly ordinary attic window, one that had absolutely no business existing on my house. I called my friend Diane, who's lived next door for almost a decade. "Has my house always had an attic?" I asked, trying to sound casual. "What?" she laughed. "Your place? No. It's a single story." "Why?" I told her I was just curious. I didn't want to sound crazy. The following day, I contacted the previous owners, the Harrises, who had renovated the place before I bought it 3 years ago. Mrs. Harris seemed confused by my question. "There's no attic," she confirmed. "We looked into adding one for storage, but the contractor said the roof structure wouldn't support it without major reconstruction that duanga night. I noticed something different. The light was brighter, and as I watched from my front lawn, I saw what looked like a shadow moving across it, the silhouette of a person. I couldn't sleep. Every creak and settling noise in the house set my heart racing. Around 3:30 a.m., I heard footsteps above my bedroom, slow, deliberate steps that traced a path from one end of the house to the other. I called a home inspector the next morning. He spent hours examining every inch of my house, paying special attention to the ceiling and roof. "Sir," he said finally, "there's absolutely no access to any space above your ceiling. The roof sits directly on top of the support beams. There's nowhere a person could be, but the light must be a reflection from somewhere else, maybe a neighbor's window, or a street lamp hitting your roof at just the right angle." I knew he was wrong. I checked. There were no angles, no reflections that could account for what I was seeing, but I nodded and paid his fee. That evening, I took photos of the illuminated attic from my front yard. When I reviewed them on my phone, my blood went cold. The light was there, but in the window was a face, pale and gaunt, with hollow eyes that seemed to stare directly into the camera. I spent that night at a hotel. The real estate agent who sold me the house called me back the next day. I left 3 increasingly desperate messages. "I'm sorry to bother you," I said, "but I need to know if there was anything unusual about this house that wasn't disclosed when I bought it." She hesitated. "Like what?" "Like maybe someone died here, or there were structural issues." Another pause. "The disclosure forms were complete, Mr. Walsh." But she stopped. "But what?" "The family before, the Harrises, the Dunhams, they had a son who went missing. It was very sad. The police never found him." "When was this?" "About 15 years ago. The boy was around 10, I think." That night, I stood in my front yard again, staring up at the light. The shadow appeared smaller than I remembered, a child-sized figure. I went inside and did something I've been avoiding. I got my tools and cut a hole in my bedroom ceiling. The insulation was thick and pink stuff between wooden beams, just as it should be. I shine my flashlight upward, expecting to see the underside of my roof. Instead, I found a wooden floor covered in a thin layer of dust. Impossible. I widen the hole and pull myself up. I was in a child's bedroom. A small bed with dinosaur sheets sat against one wall. A bookshelf filled with well-worn paperbacks. Toys scattered across the floor. Everything covered in years of dust. On the nightstand was a lamp, the source of the light I've been seeing from outside. Next to it, a framed photo of a smiling boy with his parents. As I reached for the photo, the temperature dropped suddenly. My breath formed clouds in front of my face. "You found me," said a small voice behind me. I turned slowly. The boy from the photo stood there, semi-transparent in the lamplight. His eyes were those same hollow wells I'd seen in my picture. "I've been waiting for someone to look up," he whispered. "They never look up," I stammered. "But there's no attic. This place, it can't exist." He smiled sadly. "It does for me. It's where they put me." "Who?" "My parents." He pointed to the photo I was still holding. "They said I was too much trouble, that I'd be better off up here where no one could hear me." I looked around again, noticing details I'd missed. Window was nailed shut from the outside. The door had no handle on this side. Scratches marked the walls near the floor. "They told everyone I ran away," he continued, "but I never left. When I climbed back down through the hole in my ceiling, my hands were shaking so badly I could barely hold my phone to call the police. They found the remains of a child walled up in insulation in a space that architecturally shouldn't exist. The Dunhams were arrested 2 states away. I've moved since then. My new place is a second-floor apartment. No attic, no basement, nothing above me but open sky. But sometimes when I'm walking rusty at night, I look back at my building and see a light where no window should be, and I wonder who else is trapped in impossible spaces, waiting for someone to finally look up. If you're still watching, you're brave, but nightmares have a way of following you. So before the darkness creeps in again, make sure to hit that like button, share this tale with someone who dares to listen, and subscribe for more nightmares every week. Until next time, sleep tight if you can.